Oh, holy Monday. It's Monday already. Welcome back to Monday, people. Excuse me while I clear my throat for the Monday announcement. It is Monday, and my name is Helen for UFit Studio. Just gone. This rain situation, this shower situation is playing havoc with my hair. You don't think I've actually straightened or brushed it today? I have, I swear. Today's live. Oh, so, this one took about 2 seconds blank. I swear to God, this is some conversations I'm with people a minute. It's all about this shenanigans. I even accidentally sent this plan to a client last week, and she was like, "Jesus, you just described my house." I was like, "Well, that wasn't deliberate." However, that has happened. Today's live is entitled "How Impacted Are You by People in Your Home?" Now, I could argue this one all year round. Like, this one will last few months, last few years, last forever, my friends. That's what I'm going to say. This is one that appears here, there, everywhere. Here, there, and everywhere. So everyone has this bad boy, sometime or the other. Where it's girlfriend, boyfriend, extended family, etc., which we'll get into. Everyone be affecting everyone at some point. I'm going to look at just some of the things that have been coming out of late in conversations, and just how it's impacting people's behaviours. So, I'm going to give it a few, as always, because just a couple of minutes and I was super on time, shall we say. Is a description. I was waiting there for it. Hey, Heather! Heather's on mornings. Heather! Hey, buddy! Hey, bud! How impacted are you by people in your home? Yo! Look, I'm spelling yeah for yo. Do you like that? Everybody listening on the podcast can't see that. Yeah, I'm spelling yeah for yo. Yeah. Oh. So much fun. Literally. I'll get like 2 minutes. The sun's out again. Everyone be outside, Heather. I'm like this. Get back indoors. It's not fun out there at all. Kate, there you are. Jeez, Kate, I thought I lost you. Sing out search party. Let me just block out that sunlight again. We do not want natural light. I want my tan to fade so it makes Heather not feel so pale. Ah! So she's angrily typing right now to come back at me, Heather. Heather's angrily typing. Yo, can spell. Yes, it's true. I can. So as I say before you lot joined, I sent this plan to a client, and she said, "Oh, you like describing my house right now? You described pretty much everything going on at the same time." I was like, "Wow, your house must be a well, I won't repeat what I said. A cluster reproduction is what I said. That's quite challenging for us to manage everything at the same time." Kate, you've gone through this, so let's go over it. How impacted are you by people in your home? Let's start out by saying, what do I mean by impacted? I'm going to go with the two. Just to interrupt. Heather, you're outside, as in you're outside my house? Wait, Heather, you're not outside, mate. Where are you? I'm outside. Like, you're allowed to be outside. You're allowed to be outside, Heather. You've been allowed to be outside for a while, my friend. Hey, Karen. Just pause. I was just pausing there because firstly, Heather confused me by going, "I am outside." Like it was a cryptic thing. So I just checked outside. She's not outside. Don't know she knows where I live. She's stalking me right now. Case like I live in a madhouse. Yeah. I'm outside too. Whoa. Everyone's outside. Can't wait. We'll be outside on Saturday. Everyone rocks up to that, man, boy. Can't wait for that one. Pooja Patel. Pooja Patel, you outside as well. You're outside my house right now. Not even my house. Right. Let's go for it again. How impacted are you by people in your home? So I'm going to take it to two very clear ones that people talk about, and that's food and exercise. So when I say impacted, you say how much? What I'm talking about is those two things, because those are two things that most people want to talk about when we're in chat. It's like I'm really struggling to do X, Y, Z because of ABC. And it's usually on the client's perception on somebody else in the household, shall we say. Which is as a caveat. Whether that's true or not is another live. Probably to do with excuses that you probably need to recap. However, not going there right now. Let's just go into where people say they're impacted or how they're impacted by different elements, and they are: number 1, exercise, and number 2, food. So let's go with exercise first. So I have plenty of clients who live in the same household. That's entertaining on multiple levels. I mean, I have some households where I've got 3 under the same roof. All my clients, different age brackets, etc., different relationships. Fascinating. You see, this is where I get an insight on this one, right? So this is where I see where real impact happens. So let's take exercise. If you are living with somebody who is exercising to some degree, it's I don't mind how you place it, but at some point there is always a leader of the gang or leader of the pack. Vroom vroom, right? Just thought I'd throw that one in. Because there is a leader in a behaviour. Now, what's interesting, the leader of the behaviour of exercise, if you're living with somebody on your home, can change, right? It's not always the same person. Or it's usually clear. There's usually an undertow. I'll get on to you, Kate, the husband, the feeder. Let me just write it in. Feeder. Capital F, capital E, capital E, D, E, R. I think Heather is a feeder, frankly. Heather just feeding and feeding and feeding. No more food, Heather. No, don't feed us anymore. So there's always somebody who leads an exercise under your roof, whether or not you like it or not. And it's not always you as a client. If I'm talking to you as a client, it's sometimes not, although you like to think that you are. Let's just say that. So how do you resolve it? Because I'm just going to go to the resolves at the same time. I think the easiest way to resolve it is actually just to acknowledge it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I had 2 clients, one after each other in the same household, today, on a one-to-one. I literally put them on the camera at the same time and called them both out on the same thing. Who is going to do this first, guys? Right? Who is going to lead the other one to do this? And then when you actually get round to calling it out, there was always one person who goes, you know what? Okay, I'll get that sorted, Helen. It's like, there you go. Right. So firstly, acknowledge who it is rather than get stubborn and go, no, I'll do it when I'm ready, and all the rest of it. And I have some clients who deliberately not do it just to pee the other half off, just for the sake of it. Right. There's all kinds of politics going on in a relationship when it comes to that one. So just acknowledge it's you or it's not you. Or acknowledge it's the other person and ask them to do something about it. Be proactive. That's it. The discussion I had with another client today. So be proactive and just say to them, this is what I need you to do, and I need you to do that tomorrow morning so we get on with it, rather than wanting to be the person that leads but always just kind of like doesn't quite get there. That was the noise of not getting there, by the way. That's the air going out of your sails as you realise it ain't gonna happen. And trigger the change. That's the thing. Proactively trigger the change. Accept that you're a leader or a follower. There's nothing wrong with being a follower. Ask to be led. Right? Ask to be led into the behaviour. If it's you that wants the behaviour, you know you're not doing it. Who's actually losing out? They might not be if they're not bothered, right? But really, where else we got? So here's the one that's come out loads if you're at home working out, right? Or exercise with people in the home. And this isn't actually it, and this is someone isn't on your journey, right? So this is someone is not on your journey. Let's take one that's come up a couple of times in conversation over the last few months. I really want to do the Met class, Helen. If I do it in the living room though, my husband's going to sit there and watch me and take the mickey. True fact. So guess what? They don't do Met class, right? I really want to do it, Helen. My kids muck around and they I feel self-conscious in front of them, and so I don't do it. Right. So I've put under the header even of ridicule or embarrassment, because some clients, because they are not getting as much support from whoever it is in their household, kids or extended family or significant other, they're not doing the training, okay, on a Met class, for example, because that's the most common one that comes up, right? So if that's impacting you within the household as a resolution, guess what? People are leaving the house to do their exercise now. If you consider, and as clients, you'll know this if you're a client with us, you'll have seen the posts on Facebook, and we'll be on the closed group of the post classes, etc. Are our population, is everybody doing the classes? No. Are people finding other solutions? Yes. Is some of it based on the fact that they don't want to work out in the house, either because actually they're impacted from a mood position, so they rather work outside the house, which is actually another point, or actually they don't want to work out in the home because they feel when they go to the studio, for example, to do it, they have a feeling, right, an emotional feeling of a sense of safety to be who they want to be in that environment, and they won't get ridiculed, and they're not embarrassed of saying they want to work out at home, and not embarrassed of anybody seeing them do it. They're not embarrassed of how they look, they're not embarrassed of how sweaty they are. It's all in the studio, right? When they're at home, that's the kettle of fish. The resolution, so many people leaving the house to do it. They find something, right? Again though, talk about headspace. Someone may also choose and want to, if impacted, how is it impacting their exercise? They're choosing to go out so they can get away. I'm just writing that down because it's very true, actually. Never think about it out loud. People want to get away from their other halves or their kids, so they will choose to do how is it impacting their exercise? They'll choose to do something outside because can't take kids with them, or they don't want to go on a walk because kids will want to come with them potentially, and that's who they're trying to get away from. So another way it's being impacted is people actually being very this is probably one of the reasons that, like, Couch to 5K didn't come from nowhere. Like, it's a time for a predominantly female client, although exclusively, to go out and be away from their lives, which is what they used to do at the studio. So they feel more comfortable not working out at home because they won't get ridiculed. Also, it's time for themselves, away from the stress and pressure. So it's how exercise is being impacted. So Kate's saying, push through it anyway. They'll respect you in the end, and they'll feel proud of yourself. This is true. This is the thing, right? And Kate, it depends on personality type. You're the personality type, well, I'm just going to push through it and do it and get it done. Some people are in a very different space of their journey mentally, and actually they're saving their energy to fight so much else from an emotional point of view that's going on inside the house, that actually just getting away or avoiding something else, another fight or another, I don't know how you put it, it's not necessarily a fight, but another thing. They're saving their energy for elsewhere, my friends, sadly. So those are 2 points I'm going to make about exercise. Now I'm going to make 2 points about big points, although the food one could go on like a spider's web. How food is being impacted by people in the household. Kate's husband's a feeder, we know. I don't know, Kate. I don't know if it's you or him when I hear about the green mush. The green mush has been on my mind. Nobody else will know what I mean. Kate and I know what green mush is. Sounds like a pleasure and a joy. However, moving on. Food. Okay, how is food impacted? God, geez, I could list it. I'll list some. Some of you might know some of you might not. Okay, let's go some big hitters. Couples moving in with each other for the first time, splurging out of every possible situation together. It's like taking the new relationship situation when you're having a nights in cozy at home and taking it to a new level, because it's like every day, because you want to have fun and enjoy it, and you already start to create the habit of Netflix and chill, glass of wine, all that, late nights, staying up, watching films. So new couples and food during this, you bangers. Yeah, it's like taking the existing thing where you would move in with somebody outside of lockdown and just putting paraffin on it and going, enjoy that. And they are enjoying it multiple times of the week, which takes a long time to rein back in move. Oh look, Karen's in there like a swimwear. Karen, what size? It was hard when my partner first moved in with splurges. Yes, guilty. Yeah, been there, done that. Novelty, isn't it? Novelty. Oh, you mean we could have a night together on a Wednesday, not just a Saturday? Wow. Yeah. Novelty is hell, Karen. Yeah. But totally been that. It's a tough one, right? The thing is though, it's just understanding how long you go on for, how much. It's easily boring after a bit. It's a bit tiring. I mean, it's fun for a bit, but you know, goes for a bit, right? But that's the thing. It's like anything. I've always said at the beginning in this situation, it's like taking something that in a normal bunny ears situation would be challenging, and just making it freaking awful from a challenge position or emotional position. It's like, I want to enjoy this even more because I'll have less chance to enjoy anything else. We can't go for a date night anytime soon. So guess what? We're going to enjoy a date night at home every night. So yeah, and what's the resolution on that? He's on a health plan now. There's your resolution. Oh, Karen, it's creating something a bit different and more challenging, which is what you would do outside of this situation anyway. You should start to incorporate time together that doesn't involve alcohol, food, or a distraction. As in, and this is where it's challenging, because normally you go out somewhere, so like you go to something potentially active or anything like that, right, where you could be creative with things, and that's just a little bit more challenging now. So right, Karen, comes to work out in the great outdoors on Saturday. And then you'd be great for it, right? And you can do something else active related with him later. Ooh, no, that came out wrong. You know what I'm trying to say. Heather's guffawing. I can hear Heather laughing from here. It's not the kind of exercise we had in mind. Still works. So resolution, looking for non-food related things to do, right? It's the same as if we were not in lockdown. It's just a little bit more challenging. You've got to be a little bit more creative with that and what that looks like, and how you discuss it. Right, it's good though. It sounds like you've had a discussion, because I assume he's aware he's on a health plan, Karen. It's not a surprise. Good luck, sir. You're on a health plan from now. Another one. Oh, this has been one. It's really tough with a client, and that's, or not a client, with any client, because this is happened with multiple clients. How can I put this? Oh, okay, I'll just describe it. So I'm having like pictures come in from a client all day, all week, looking good, and then I don't know, I've worked with this client for 3 years, for example, never seen a McDonald's in a food picture in my life, in a food diary, ever. I mean, even when I asked her about it, she hadn't had one, and there it was. I was like, I mean, I had to zoom in. See, I'm even stuttering now because I'm like reliving the moment where I'm like, what the unexpected curveball? And I was like, I even asked the question. I knew what it was. It was quite clear on the rep. I was like, the golden arches were there. I was like, oh, what's that? That's my really, really crap impression of it. All surprised and inquisitive voice, when I'm really like inside going, what the heck's happened? And the response actually now, as the weeks are starting to come up, and even conversations today, well, my other half fancied a McDonald's, and I've not had one in years, as you know, Helen. I'm like, yeah, I know. She said it was because he'd gone and got it and brought it back, and kind of asked me what order I was there. So when we talk about how we're impacted by people in the household, the introduction to a choice, right, because it's a choice, it's an interesting thing, right? It's like saying, you've never had it before, because there's a choice now, so you have it. It's like the McDonald's scenario. It's like, I haven't had McDonald's for absolutely years, Helen, but because it was there, I said yes. But it was gatewayed by someone else in the household who'd been having it regularly right up until lockdown, and so and he'd been doing a drive-by every day, waiting for that particular branch to open. He'd been googling it every day. I think he'd asked Siri every morning as soon as he woke to make sure it opened, because he couldn't wait. Unfortunately, the influence and impact there is that client's probably going to be going through numerous. I have to brace myself when I get photos, right? But unfortunately, that is the situation for a lot of people. Is that as things become available, other people in the household, whether or not you particularly are looking forward to it, not, are going to suggest things you wouldn't naturally do, and because it's a choice, right? Because you're not getting that choice normally. It's understandable that you're going to want to say yes to it. Now, it's tricky with a resolution on this one. This was a challenging one, because there's also an argument to say, like, there's not much else to do. or hasn't been. So when something becomes an option, it's exciting. You know, it's like the percentage of people who say that food shopping is exciting because they haven't done it for a long time and they find that entertaining, right? You say that to a group of 10 people, 5 might look at you like you dropped out the sky. The other 5 be like, yeah, it's so fun, right? And that's where it's at. It's the opportunity to change your environment or things like that, where people are saying more likely to say yes within your household. And that means that you're more likely to be impacted. Now, could I say, arguably, it's about proactive conversations, etc.? Maybe. But also, the reality is for clients going through it, I'm having to have proactive conversations and say, look, I can sense that you're going to be more likely impacted than most. Or everyone is. So it's a question of saying, accepting that this is going to happen, also learning where to balance that somewhere else. So just awareness, right? It's like saying, when they're put on the spot, if they say yes, that's okay, because it's a decision, it's been done. So there's plenty you can do after, just to balance that choice. However you choose to do your nutrition over the next couple of days, it's just accepting it and saying, do you know what, I just accept that when the choice is there, I'm going to say yes. There are so many banging places opening up in the Leicestershire area, I will say, over the next 7 days. I'm doing it myself. I'm making a shortlist. I've got a shortlist. I know exactly where I'm going on Saturday. And it's probably not where Heather thinks. Heather probably thinks she knows where I'm going. I'm not. Somewhere even more random that's opened up. It was agreement from the get-go, though, from Michelle, that as soon as it opened, we would go. And now I'm just thinking, right, and actually it's not even a fast food place, actually. I'm going to be on the prep from probably Wednesday, Thursday to enjoy that and accept it, because I want to do it because it's a choice. Now, I could have chosen to go to this place numerous times before lockdown. Even 2, right? I could have gone more. Because the option's there, I'm choosing to take it, right? Same as everybody else. Ooh. Temptation, touch that one. We talked on temptation. Time and food, that's been one that's cropped up. Like, how much do people have time to do stuff? So are they choosing to cook from scratch or are they not? It's quite interesting. People's perception of time. We've gone from going through a few months where you thought what you had was time, and now all of a sudden it's gone in the other direction. People seem to think there isn't enough time to do things, so they're going for quick fixes. And they're joining, people are coming along with them. Same thing, I've twinned that with people and kids wanting to eat separately from you, etc. Although I think people alive probably doesn't impact them so much, but actually for a lot of people who can listen to this after, just watch this afterwards, it's been so hard maintaining a menu almost. And that's how some people have been impacted, right? Having to cook more than 1 meal a day, or even in some cases 2. I've got one woman who's doing 3. I mean, that's some next level stuff, right? She's got a vegetarian, vegan, and meat eater all in the same house. That's his work. Does she have a lot of time half the time? No, she ends up going for a quick fix for herself because she's cooking for everybody else that's in her house, and that's not changing anytime soon. So in terms of those things when I'm talking to clients, I just talk about, not very often I do this, but I just talk about awareness around calories. Just have some awareness, like make choices. Like if you're going to go and just, because you can nip in now, there is some nipping in going to get a wrap or a sandwich, just understanding even about the calories, just some awareness and acceptance again, right? I'm not going to say to her, stop cooking for everybody in the household, because she assumes that role. I'm also going to say to her, just have some awareness around then the quick choices you're making to ensure that you don't feel worse about yourself later on. So, Nevertheless, I don't even know what Heather's saying it's true to. Heather tomorrow is going to come in and go, right, I'm going to guess where you're going to go eat. No, my friend, you have it wrong. You'll never guess. You'll think you'll know, but you won't know. So, last point I can make is an interesting one. Alcohol. Alcohol in people in the house has probably been... It's not about kids, by the way. I'm not segueing from kids onto this. Well, unless you've been pushing you to it. The kids are driving you absolutely nuts, and potentially. That has happened, actually, to be fair. I'm joking about it, but it actually has. So, alcohol and behaviours of people in your house. I'm gonna use my own neighbours for this this description right now, mainly because I know they'll never watch this, but also because I find it fascinating. And this isn't a house here. This is my house. Now, my neighbour it's fascinating in a way. Kind of in a way, I feel a bit like David Attenborough watching this unravel sometimes from my office, which overlooks their garden. So you imagine what I've had for a few months. This has been great. I've been like, just watching this happen. He probably starts drinking about, I would say about 10:30, 11. I've never counted how many drinks. I never have. And he always sits in the garden. Even if there's like a glimpse of sun, he will be out there, and he never wears a top. He's always there. And the only noise I know sometimes is I hear the can go into the recycle, so I know he's there. And when his wife comes home, the first thing she does is that she gets a drink and joins him, and they have a conversation. Now I know that, and then she'll stay there till about 6, 7 o'clock with him, because I know that he will stay in the garden and he will continue to drink until sundown. And that hasn't changed since prior to lockdown. Other than the fact he would work, so he wouldn't be there that long. Again, though, I've just from my observational office, I've seen that escalate more and more over the weeks and stuff. So it's really fascinating to know what's going on in a dynamic. And also, I know it's none of my business. I'm not saying it is. We take this as a principle, like I know for her, and I know when I talk to female clients as well, and male clients, but predominantly female clients, they perceive spending time with their significant other on their terms. So, say for example, with my neighbours, he's drinking. She perceives that quality time with him is in the garden with him while he drinks, and that for her to be part of that with him, she will drink as well. And I actually had a conversation with her. I didn't touch it. She volunteered his information. I swear to God, I didn't say a thing. She said, "I've noticed my drinking's gone up way more over lockdown," and I didn't talk about it because it's not my place, is it? Thing is though, when I listen to clients, and what's fascinating, I had the same conversation with my client today about her husband. So this is what I think of it, right? I'm seeing it physically next door in lockdown, which is amazing considering, and I'm hearing it from clients as well. So she said to me, "Helen, last night he poured me a glass of wine. He hadn't even asked, and it was in my hand, and she said, and I didn't want it, but I had it, right? Because, and we talked about it. He's at work all day in his office. They come out at night. The only time they have together is that, and so it's just a habit that they've both built, that he will pour a glass of wine without asking, and part of her wants to enjoy the moment. She perceives that to be that they both drink because they're both on the same level then. So it's an enjoyable moment from both of them, and they've both got the same habits and behaviours, so it's bonding them in some way, and that's how they're approaching their time while they're at home. And it sounds like it's easy enough to break, and yet it's actually not. I mean, we had a discussion, and she's going to be proactive and talk about it. But how difficult is it if we've all been in that situation? And Karen's talks about moving in with a new partner, like, and part of that is that bonding experience that someone perceives that we're bonding because we're having a drink together. It's a socializing. It's called socializing, isn't it? Oh, I'm having a social drink. Socializing. When socialising with a significant other, and this works with family too. This is what's great. I had more than one client over the hottest period of a family home. This is 2 separate clients, by the way, not the same client. 2 separate clients build an outdoor bar for their family because they all wanted to get together at night and have drinks together. Again, because it's perceived to be socialising, but then there was always like the influence of, there was someone in there, a bit like exercise. There's always a leader in there somewhere with alcohol. And then there's some people who are actually, and this is the thing, that they're happy to follow. They're happy to follow in exercise. They're also happy to follow in alcohol to some degree. It's not a criticism. It's an observation. And actually, if you challenge them, like I challenged my client today, she kind of admitted that yes, part of her wants that, because otherwise, if she really didn't want it, she'd tip it down the drain. If she really didn't want it, she'd tip it down the drain, or she'd say, "No, I don't want it. You can have this second glass in a bit if you want it that bad." Right? Part of her wanted it, so part of her wanted to drink it with him, right? And it's the same thing with doing or not doing exercise. This is what's interesting about this, which is, although I've got some other points to make on alcohol, my summation on this one, this is really fascinating, and some will agree or disagree depending on their awareness. I think when we're impacted, we want to be impacted. Let that one settle for a bit. really. We're impacted we want to be. Because the discussion I had with that client today was actually you found more value in that moment with your husband than an outcome of your health goals. You found, and again, not a criticism, an observation, right? So in that moment of drinking the wine, you found more value in that moment with him and that glass of wine than the immediate value, as opposed to the long-term value of stepping on the scales in 3 days' time and seeing a change in weight, right? Because the conversation started like, Helen, I don't know why I haven't lost weight. I want to lose weight. And we really got into it, right? Find out the reason why, what's happening. She isn't isolated. This is the thing. It's not isolated. Quite common, actually. And it's the same with, as I said, with that dynamic, yes, but with every dynamic. When it comes down to it, if somebody is not doing something or impacted by somewhere in their household, as in they are not doing an activity, as in exercise or a food related choice, some part of them wants to be not doing it. They'll know. That's the thing. This is the thing as well, and you'll all know this as well. I really meant to do it. I wanted to do it, Helen. And this is where I talked about an external factor, right? So when somebody is looking for a head, I'm not going to edge on the word of excuse. However, if someone's looking for a reason why they've not done something, they'll tell themselves a story that it was on someone else now. It's a bit like me challenging that client to say, if you really didn't want the wine, you'd drop it down the sink. But ultimately, if somebody really was impacted by somebody doing the exercise, they were still due to do it, like Kate said. I don't care if what happens, right? Push through it. So Kate said, push through it anyway. They'll respect you in the end, and you'll feel proud of yourself. And that's Kate talking about doing exercise at home. Now, Kate's leverage is, I'm going to do it anyway, because I'll actually deep down want to do it, and actually don't see the value in shying away from it and doing something else, because that's the truth about this as well. If I say this another way, Kate, if you really didn't do it, knowing you would see the value in doing something else, and it wouldn't be necessarily that wasn't health related. You say, actually, Helen, I saw more value in going for a walk today than doing a home workout because I wanted to clear my headspace, but I was still active, right? Different kettle of fish. The reality is that deep down we want to be led astray. We're human, right? So how do you deal with that overall? That's a hard one, isn't it? It's the same thing though. Same thing I talked about the other day when we talk about truth. You own the truth and say, no, I wanted the wine. I wanted it. I want it until the point of which I don't want it anymore. And I haven't decided yet when that is. Does that sound abrupt? Yes. Is it the truth? Yes. Is it the reality? Right, another question to ask yourself. What is the reality? What is the reality of the situation? How much is it somebody else's fault? So if I said to somebody, if someone says, I couldn't do the Met all week because my husband at home, I was like, is that the truth? He's at home that you couldn't do the Met? Well, yeah, no, because he was in the living room. Okay. How much of the day was he in the living room though? What's the reality? Oh, he's probably there for a couple of hours. Okay. You can see where I go with it, right? But that's more uncomfortable to some degree, owning that one. So Kate's saying, I want Heather to be my personal chef. Try what? Well, Kate, it's just a tricky one. I would too, but I would keep asking her to make things with peanut butter until she would literally sack me as a customer or a client. But no more peanut butter, Helen. I will indoctrinate Heather into loving peanut butter. This feels like a personal goal. Love it. So recap time. About time. Yeah, so I'm going to recap. So this was that how impacted you by people in your home. Okay, so I said I define what impact was. So is it food, exercise, right? Some people it's both, some people it's one. Most people are impacted by one another aspect of their household, or people under their roof. I talked about exercise and asking yourself this, and I'm going to rephrase it differently probably in the recap. Ask yourself the story of who leads and who follows, right? What's the story that you tell yourself for the reason why something doesn't happen, and then perhaps ask yourself the reality of why it's not happening, and perhaps discuss that. If you are currently experiencing that, discuss that with a coach, because it'd be interesting to see if we delve into it what we come out with. Who triggers that change once you realise, right? Are you going to lead? Are you going to follow? Are you going to change the narrative of why something isn't happening? Are you going to own it, right? What's the reality? We talked about why some people are not training at home because of ridicule and embarrassment, that some people are feeling criticised by family or husband or wife at home, and they're choosing to go out or not to train, actually, too, as well. Some people are not training at all. I also touched base on that's why some people are not doing the classes and stuff, and they're doing other things. They're still exercising, they're choosing to exercise out of the home because their family are driving them up the wall. So it is an influence, it's an impact. They are getting the frick out. And then I talked about food and how other people's options or choices, we say, as they become more available, are also impacting our own choices, our own ability to say yes or no. So we say temptation, right? Temptation or can't use the word feeder, all right? But there it is, right? It's temptation through other people in the house potentially, and also let's just recap when I do this now. Your ownership of what you actually want yourself, right? What do you really want? What's the reality? What's the truth? What's the truth at the bottom of this? Is it that somebody's force feeding you, or part of you really wants it? Also, right? So own that choice as well. And then it talks about alcohol and how it's strongly influencing. Again, hopefully not your children, unless you're drinking to get over your children's behaviours. But also just how it is in terms of relationships and bonding as a couple. Either this or any other time, right? It's as before I said, it's just spraying paraffin on stuff, but it exists there already, right? That perception that share time is unwind time, that is time together that includes alcohol. Like the client who admitted ultimately when I challenged her deeply enough that actually she wants it, and so for a period of time she's going to do it because she enjoys it and she wants it herself. Even if he does pour the glass for her, she drinks it and she enjoys it. So Heather is pointing out that she'll never like peanut butter. I call shenanigans on that. It's going to happen. And Karen claims to also be in the non-peanut butter camp, which means that both of y'all will have peanut butter thrown at you off a spoon. Yeah, so Karen's saying no time for strength class when I'm working full time, so revised mine 7 a.m. Yeah, there you go. Set the alarm, get it done. This is saying that something I'm reading, and Sam touched on it yesterday as well, and I keep saying it. It's about doing the work. To do the work. I even sent it to a client today as a message when she said she gave me a reason of something. I said, bottom line, do the work. And that's the thing about this. Or most lives I've touched on, right, it's about doing the work. Sometimes you have to do the work and not put the responsibility of the work or it not happening on other people. Like, it isn't happening because of this person, or my kids are in that because of this. You can still do the work. Karen's still doing the work because she chooses to revise the plan and do the work. She's doing the work. We all do work in different ways, but we know where we can put our focus. Where energy flows, right? When mind flows, energy flows. Focus, isn't it? Focus flows, energy flows, right? You do the work. You do the work. You do the work, right? It's not on somebody else to change that level of work for you. It's you doing the work. It's like Kay saying, I'm going to do the work. Regardless of anybody else, I'm doing the work, right? And that's where real success out of stuff comes from. Hard work pays off in the end. It's an interesting thing. For those of you who fancy a really good laugh, Heather, I know, is already going to be starting to get a pen and paper for this one. You made me think of it, Kate. I'm always going to do this now. I should be saying this on this because I'm going to regret this. On the old YouFit YouTube channel, there is a video on there of me, and there's one of Sam. I'll drop him in it as well. There's no one of Sam when nobody understands what he looks like. Occasionally when those days, once a month when I'm feeling a little bit blue, sometimes I go back on YouTube and just look at the video of him and go, feel better. There's also a video of me though, as a client, right? It's a video of me as a client. Kate's triggered me because in that it says, I'm sure somewhere in that interview, inside the studio, I say something. It's like it's only places where, only situations where you get what you put in, so you do the work. And it pays off. I didn't say exactly like that, Kate, but if you fancy a laugh, go and have a look at it. I've got quite long hair, It's quite blonde. Wearing contact lenses. I made an effort for that situation. But also you can see some quite historically old videos of Sam, which also make me chuckle. I have to go back quite a way though. There's a lot of this going on. I have to go quite back one some way to find that stuff. Emma's like this, ooh, on their phones immediately, looking straight away. Yeah, it's a chuckle. And I'll leave you with that one for tonight if there's nothing else on TV. Have a watch of me from circa 2016, I think. Flaming heck. Must be longer than that. No, he must be 14. Yeah, be 14 or 15 actually. Be probably 2015. Oof. 5 years. Been through a lot. My hair's got a lot shorter. I've got grey hair on my eyebrow. Lots changed. Heather's really there. Heather is there. Why don't you eat some peanut butter and watch that? Enjoy the moment. Right, y'all. I will see you on the flip side tomorrow. I've got some good ones this week. I got some sensory feedback from one of my clients saying, what do you think of these lives? She's like, Jesus, I feel like I'm living inside your world right now. I'm like, yeah. Bangers every day this week. Yeah, cake's a bit like a carb on it. Yeah, make yourself comfortable, cup of tea, watch that bad boy. Enjoy, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.